So I'm not going to be on here very extremely long, but I did have to come on. I was trying to live this weekend, man. Oh my God, I don't know what was going on this weekend. This weekend was just so janky. Like, okay, so first, right, my computer started cutting off every 5 minutes, like literally every 5 minutes. I turn it on, I do about 5 or 6 minutes worth of stuff, it just cut off. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, well, I'll just use the tablet. No problem. Not gonna frustrate myself. So I try to go live on the tablet. Y'all might remember if you go back and you look at my missing anniversaries video from the weekend. That's when it happened. So I said, no problem. I'll just use the tablet. So I get on the tablet and I go live and I'm talking and boom, it just restarts itself. I was like, okay, that's weird. So I try to go live again. Boom, restarts itself again. I'm like, what the heck is really going on? So then, now that I'm good and frustrated because I can't go live for the 4th of July, actually before then, before then, the air conditioner went out on Sunday on a federal holiday weekend. It just got fixed today. So I was frustrated. I was hot and frustrated. And I don't know, but some kind of way today, I worked it out. The computer's working fine. Hasn't been giving me any problems. Tablet working fine. Haven't been giving me any problems. I don't know what this weekend was, but I hope I never see another frustrating weekend like that again. Anyway, on to this, man. So I saw that Cory Bigsby has new indictments on 30 counts. 30, and that he's facing over 100 or up to 162 years in prison. And what's crazy is not a single one of these charges has anything to do with Cody. He's looking at 162 years, not including whatever he's facing whenever Cody's case gets resolved. This dude messed up big time. He might as well just go on and talk and tell him what happened. Okay, so here's the story. I'm gonna play the video.
Come down in a new indictment.
To Hampton now, and new charges for the father of Cody Bigsby.
More than 24 charges have come down in a new indictment, and they include new charges of child neglect and child abuse, but they are unrelated to the 4-year-old's disappearance. However, if convicted, they could land Cory Bigsby in prison for more than a century. And on your side's Amy Avery has these latest charges for Cory Bigsby. Amy?
Remember, we previously reported Cory was initially
Wonder why I
arrested
can't
on
hear
7
this.
child neglect charges, but these are 23 additional charges, mostly for child neglect, but some for child abuse. Some even for failing to get medical
Let
help
me
for one of
redo
his
this.
kids.
Maybe I didn't share sound from the screen. Share screen. Share tab. Share tab audio.
Charges for the father of Cody.
Hey Sherry, how you doing?
Charges have come down in a new indictment.
Tell me if you can hear this because I can't
Charges of
hear it on
child
my end.
neglect and child abuse, but they are unrelated to the 4-year-old's disappearance. However, if convicted, they could land Cory Bigsby in prison for more than a century.
Man, I'm not
And your
sure
side, Amy
why.
Avery has these latest charges for Cory Bigsby. Amy?
Maybe I got the volume down.
Remember, we previously reported Cory was initially arrested on 7 child neglect charges, but these are 23 additional charges, mostly for child neglect, but some for child abuse. Some even for failing to get medical help for one of his kids. And even though these charges aren't related to Cody, local activists say it's still important to continue searching for him.
What the heck is going on?
It's up to us as a community to keep getting out there, keeping his name alive. Just say his name. Keep moving forward.
Cory Bigsby was last seen at the Buckrow Point townhomes in the Buckrow area of Hampton on January 31st. His father, Cory Bigsby, told police Cory was last seen around 2 in the morning, but police say evidence didn't match Cory's story. Despite lengthy search efforts, Cory still hasn't been found, so some local groups have taken matters into their own hands.
We stay in the streets. We stay wherever anybody suggests.
Hear Their Voices founder Kate Coleman says their most recent search was last Friday, and another is planned for next week. She says they work closely with Water Team Inc. when they need assistance on the water. Joe Slabinski says they're constantly training for hurricane season, but while they're out on the water, the search for Cory is still top of mind.
Nobody should just be left out there and never found.
Slabinski and Coleman say even though the number of people searching has dropped off, they're not giving up hope that one day he'll be found.
We are going to stay out in this fight. We're going to stay in this fight. We're going to stay out here for Cory.
I'm hoping they come back, and I'm hoping they come back as strong as they were at the height of all this in the beginning, because we need not forget about this child or any other one.
Now, we also reached out to Cory's attorney for a comment, but have not heard back yet. Now, as for the trial, a date has not been set yet. Amy Avery, 10 on your side.
Thank you, Amy. And a quick reminder, if you have seen Cory Bigsby at all since mid-November, authorities want to hear from you.
To Hampton now, and new charges for the father of Cory Bigsby.
More than 24 charges
Okay, since it was
have
low
come down
and I
in a
can't hear
new
it at all,
indictment.
I'm just
They
going to go ahead and read the
include new
article.
charges of child
Cory
neglect and
Bigsby, the
child
father of a
abuse,
Hampton
but
boy
they
who's been
are
missing since
unrelated
January,
to the
faces
4-year-old's
23
disappearance.
more charges
However,
after a
if
grand jury
convicted, they could
indictment
land
for a
Cory
total of 30
Bigsby in
charges.
prison
The new
for more than
charges
a
are
century.
not related
10 on your side's Amy Avery has
to
these
the
latest
disappearance
charges
of
for
his son,
Cory
4-year-old
Bigsby.
Cory
Amy.
Bigsby. The child was
Remember,
reported
we
missing from
previously
his home
reported Cory was initially
in the Buckrow area of Hampton on January 31st and has yet to be found. Bigsby remains the only person of interest in the case, according to the police. Up until now, Bigsby was facing 7 child neglect charges after court documents say he admitted to leaving his children home alone. We were told 15 more charges for child neglect were added for leaving the children home alone. 4 charges were added for alleged child abuse, and 2 additional child neglect charges were added in connection to those child abuse charges. There were 2 misdemeanors added for failure to secure medical attention for an injured child. That's interesting. We've also learned 2 of the additional indictments were for failing to get an injured child medical help. Even though none of these charges are related to Cory's disappearance, local search groups say they aren't giving up hope. The video still playing? Can you still hear it? It must be something else. Okay, where is that? Even though none of these charges are related to Cory's disappearance, local search groups say they aren't giving up hope. Several new indictments were filed by the Hampton Commonwealth attorney in connection to the Cory Bigsby case Tuesday afternoon. Court records show Bigsby previously confessed to leaving his children home alone. He told detectives the children were too much of a handful and he didn't think about getting a babysitter. He did think about getting a babysitter. Who doesn't think about getting a babysitter? Bigsby's attorney, Amina Matheny Willard, issued a statement following the indictments, calling the case a modern-day lynching. Oh, goodness, here we go. Read Matheny Willard's full statement below. I'm not sure I want to. I don't think I like his attorney. And not even because she's representing him. I just don't like her presentation. Today, the Hampton Commonwealth attorneys announced a 30-count indictment against Cory Bigsby. The law enforcement cover-up in this case is shocking, and the result is a desperate father sitting in jail while his son is missing because the Commonwealth's attorney knows that Cory is innocent. He cannot indict Cory for the disappearance of Cody Bigsby because he is innocent. They locked him up, deprived him of a lawyer, and tortured him in an effort to secure a confession. They soon realized a combat veteran turned innocent father doesn't break, and he doesn't confess to a crime that he did commit. When police realized Cory was innocent, they should have moved on to other potential suspects. Instead, law enforcement doubled down. Our criminal justice system's history is littered with cases like this, where the ends justify the means to arrogant police and prosecutors, as we see in case after case where corrupt police are able to obtain forced confessions. The state was wrong. The Commonwealth is likewise wrong here, and in this case, Cory Bigsby withstood their torture techniques and refused to confess to a crime he didn't commit. Okay, so now they're accusing the police of torture. Okay. Today's indictments carry one clear message. Cory Bigsby had nothing to do with Cody's disappearance, and the Commonwealth's failure to make a case is an admission to this fact. The indictments at hand are absolute nonsense. The allegations against Cory could be made against any busy and struggling parent. As it seems, the Commonwealth's attorney must be reminded that not everyone has a disposable income with which to hire a daycare or an au pair. The Commonwealth is desperate to convict Cory of something, anything, because they know that Mr. Bigsby will be filing complex federal litigation against the city to hold them accountable for their horrific conduct in this case. The case is not a prosecution, it's a modern day lynching. Mr. Bigsby looks forward to his day in court. Her and her terminology, bro. Bigsby's 5-year-old and 2-year-old twins are now in foster care. Cody is still missing, but local search groups aren't giving up hope. We're going to stay out in this fight. We're going to stay out here for Cody, said Hear the Voices founder Kay Coleman. Oh, she's the one that found the jacket. Coleman says their voices Coleman says their most recent search was last Friday. Founder of Water Team Inc., Joe Slabinski, says there was a lot of participation when Cody first went missing, but they hope more people will join again. I'm hoping they come back, and I'm hoping they come back as strong as they were at the height of all this at the beginning, said Slabinski. Even when people fell off, we were like, they're going to fall off, but we're going to step up even more, said Slabinski. Cody was last seen at the Buckrow Point townhomes in the Buckrow area of Hampton. Coleman says they'll continue to hang posters and search for answers. We didn't forget about Cody, and we're not going to forget about Cody. So we are going to do what it takes to keep his name out there, said Coleman. During Bigsby's last court appearance in June, a judge ruled there was enough evidence to move the case to a grand jury, which brings us to today. A trial date has not been set. If convicted, Bigsby could face up to 162 years in prison. If you'd like to assist in the search for Cody, you can click here. Wavy News is working to learn more about the child abuse allegations. Cory Bigsby's family is scheduled to have a press conference July 15th to discuss the latest developments, and I will definitely be on it when they have that press conference. I'm writing it down right now as we speak. So, wow. 23 new charges for a total of 30 charges, looking at 162 years max. And that's just for charges unrelated to Cody. I think it's a pressure tactic. I think that with the new charges and the time that he's facing, that they're hoping he will crack and go ahead and tell them what happened to Cody. I think they're pressuring him to the point that they can offer him a deal to find out what happened to Cody. They say pressure busts pipes. If you keep applying pressure, something will break. And they're hoping it's going to be Cory. Okay, hold on. I'm getting a couple of messages here. If I can see him, let me check this out real quick, see if it's related. Bear with me a second. Sleuthie! So glad to see you. Hoping the drama ends really, really soon because I don't like this. Okay, come on, come on, come on. Okay, well, whenever it comes through, then I'll look at it then. But yeah, I think they're just trying to apply pressure to him to break him, to get the truth out of him. Definitely, Sherry, definitely. It's got to be a tactic because he won't talk. And probably the only thing that they can think of to make it. Yeah, I'm trying to get it to pull up now. Everything's moving so slow. I had the weirdest weekend, man. Y'all missed it, but I was saying this weekend, like everything broke and I didn't know what was going on. I really thought I was gonna have to leave YouTube. At first the air conditioner went out on Sunday on a holiday weekend, so it was just super hot. So then on the 4th of July, I tried to do like missing anniversaries, and my computer literally kept shutting off every 5 minutes. Like by the time I could get it pulled up and go live and try to share the screen, it would just shut down. So I was like, okay, let me use the tablet. So then I got on the tablet and I'm live streaming, and it just restarted itself just out of the blue. So I'm like, okay, that was a fluke. So I get back on the tablet and I'm live streaming and it restarts itself again. I'm just like, what is going on this weekend? Like this weekend was so freaking crazy. It was just, I don't know. So I was like, you know what? The tablet won't work. The computer won't work. I I'm gonna have to leave YouTube. I know it was so miserably hot, but what my daughter and my son-in-law did was they went and got like a small AC unit, and we put it in the window in the living room, and we blocked off like the two doors to the hallway and the dining room with blankets, and we were okay. We had a million fans going in there, so we had this like teeny tiny air conditioner unit and like six fans all on high, so we were okay. And the kids went to their other grandparents' house. She actually said that we could all come over there, but we just sent the kids, and us grown folks just toughed it out over here. a superconducting super collider. People think that they could open portals to another dimension with it. Imagine, oh, that's Batissimo. Let's leave Batissimo over there. So yeah, CERN is some whole other stuff. There's plenty of videos out there about it. Sleuth, since you said you didn't know what it is, there's some videos out there about it that you could kind of catch yourself up. Just type in CERN and see what pops up. Whatever the weirdest title, watch that one. But yeah, they use time to break people all the time. They use time to get people to flip on relatives, close friends, longtime cohorts, even shoot, tell on themselves. And I think that's exactly what they're doing is trying to pressure him to tell on himself. And I think it might just work because I believe that what Cory was thinking is since they don't have any clues, they don't have Cody, they don't have a body, they don't have any real solid evidence, just hearsay and suspicion. Since they don't have anything, they're eventually going to have to let me walk. And he probably told himself with leaving the kids home, thinking, I'll give them this little bit. I'll give them this little bit right here, you know, probably going to be misdemeanors, and then this will all be over. And not realizing that it was going to blow up into felonies, and definitely because I know I didn't expect 30 charges with 162 years out of leaving your kids home alone. So I'm imagining that he's just as shocked as I am right now when he found out what he's really looking down the barrel of. So it was activated Tuesday. Yeah, I know he didn't. I wouldn't even thought it. I mean, and I'm pretty familiar with the system and the games that they play and the stuff that they do, and that came out of left field for me. When I saw that he had a total of 30 charges, looking at a century and a half plus, I was like, wow, how did they stretch that out of there? But yeah, you better believe he is definitely sitting there looking real stupid in the face right now, trying to figure out what his next move is. But I think he's gonna break. I think that within the next few weeks here, we're gonna find out where Cody is and what happened to him. Because 162 years is a lot of time. Well, I won't say the next few weeks because, of course, his lawyers are gonna do their things. His lawyers are gonna, file their different motions and all this kind of stuff. So, trying to get charges dismissed and all this kind of stuff. So, after the lawyers finish their paper shuffling in court, then I think we will get some information about Cody because I'm sure his lawyer is going to advise him to shut up, let me work my magic in the courtroom and see what I can do first. And so she's going to go through her filing motions and all this kind of stuff. And then whatever she can't get dropped, which I don't think any of this stuff is going to get dropped, any of these new charges. I think that the DA really sat down and really made sure that everything he's indicted on fits and is appropriate so that there is no games to play in court with motions and getting charges dropped. So I feel like all 30 of these charges are going to stand. And after she finishes trying to get them dismissed, then an offer will be put on the table. We'll drop we'll drop 29 of these charges if you tell us what happened to Cody. Something like that. And he's going to talk because going from facing 162 years to facing 5 or 10 years he'll probably fire his attorney if she tells him not to talk. But yeah, let me get out of here. I've been on here like 25 minutes talking about absolutely not nothing. But yeah, I'm gonna look up the CERN thing. 30 charges is indeed insane. Expired milk in the fridge, man. They probably threw everything at him that they possibly could. If there's a charge out there that's appropriate that deals with having expired milk in the fridge, it's probably in there too. The misdemeanor failing to get medical attention. He probably didn't have a first aid kit for a scratch on somebody's knee. I ain't lying. They're digging up something on him. They are making a cake for Cory Bigsby, and it ain't the kind he want. Oh, okay, so let me get out of here for real this time. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I really just wanted to make sure that I can come on and stream, because I had to tweak a few things on the computer and try to hope it works. And apparently it's working. So I'm happy. I don't have to leave YouTube. You guys would not believe I really did not know how much I missed YouTube until I thought I couldn't get back on here. I didn't even know I liked being on here like this. No, they didn't really charge him for milk, but the way that he's charged. Let me see. What he has is he has 7 child neglect charges. He has 15 more charges for child neglect were added for leaving the children home alone. 4 charges were added for alleged child abuse, and 2 additional child neglect charges were added in connection with those children. Wait a minute. 4 charges were added for alleged child abuse, and 2 additional child neglect charges were added in connection to those child abuse charges. There were 2 misdemeanors added for failure to secure medical attention for an injured child. We've also learned 2 of the additional indictments were for failing to get an injured child medical help. I think they like double typed that sentence there. And it says even though none of the charges are related to Cody's disappearance, local search groups say they aren't giving up hope. Sleuth. Did they really charge him for spoiled milk? That would be hilarious. I mean, the case isn't funny, but that would be hilarious. If they found a way to charge him for spoiled milk, that would just be. It's cool. It's cool. Replay Nation. All right, I'm out of here. I am at 28 minutes. This is not even a 30-minute to an hour live. I am out of here. I will see y'all tomorrow. And tomorrow I will be talking about. Uh, I forgot what I'll be talking about tomorrow. Oh, L. Reagan. We're going to talk about L. Reagan, the little girl who is missing. Her mother was found dead by an apparent suicide, and they cannot find this 6-year-old girl. So that's what we'll be talking about tomorrow. Good night. I love y'all. See y'all tomorrow.